I hate to sound like a broken record here. I really do. And I know that obviously I'm not into moral victories, and nobody's into moral victories. But man, with all the things negatively that we'll talk about that we didn't do very well, extremely encouraged about the way that these guys played tonight, the effort level that they played at. However, the execution level was not there. We've got to do some things. We've got to stop putting ourselves in negative situations, have negative plays. We've got to cut down on the penalties. I know we had less penalties than they did, but it always seems like our penalties are very timely penalties, and we've got to stop doing that. We've got to stop putting ourselves behind the 8 ball there, and we've just got to find some way to get us over that hump, and we have not found a way to get this football team over the hump. And I'm very grateful for how this team, how this staff handles themselves, man, and the way that they go about getting this team prepared. I am still awfully encouraged and positive about this football team. Okay, and I'm excited for the future. Anybody who watches those games, they should be really excited for the future, because we've got a lot of new guys and young guys that we're out there playing with, and sometimes it rears its ugly head. You see those penalties, and you see some of the negative plays and false starts and offside. My goodness, man, an offside. We shut down a 2-point conversion, and we're offsides, man. We line up offsides, and some things like that. So, I know we'll go through the rundown of all the stats and all of that kind of stuff. We got a lot of things we need to clean up. I think our return game's terrible. We got to get some more explosive plays in our return game, both punt return and kickoff return. It's not very good. We got to do some things offensively. We got to do some things defensively. We got a lot of things we need to clean up. But it's a whole lot easier to clean those things up when you've got the effort that these kids are playing at. We just got to find a way for the ball to finally roll our way and the calls to go our way and some things like that. And right now we haven't had that luck yet.
You guys talk about the mood on the sideline after you guys kind of reached the 50-yard field goal and they answered the 75-yard touchdown pass, and just what's the mood on the sideline?
Yeah, I thought I thought Connor hitting that field goal was unbelievable, man. That was unbelievable for him. Coming off the SEMO game and putting him in that situation right there, and him just, drilling it. That was a long field goal too. I think it was like 49 yards, something like that. Man, very, very proud of him. Obviously that got the juice going. I will say that was one thing that I was not very happy about. Anybody that watched me on the sideline the first quarter, I thought we came out really flat. And that bothered me a little bit. That bothered me a lot, especially offensively. I thought we came out very, very flat. And almost discombobulated at times. We had a hard time lining up in formations. I don't know what it was, but we were able to regroup and refocus and do some things, put some drives together and things like that. But that was one thing that I was a little bit discouraged about. But going back to the kick, obviously I thought that kind of got us going a little bit, got the sidelines going, and everybody was happy to see him do that, because we know that that's the type of kicker he is. We've seen it all the time in practice. So was happy for him that he got that moment.
Down 20-7, then 30-21. You guys come back twice in this game. What do you tell your team when it comes to trying to finish? This is the third straight home loss by a score or less.
Yeah, I think I think in 2 conference games we've lost combined 8 points, something like that. It's funny you used the word. Our word for this week was finish, because if you remember last year when we played UT Martin, we jumped up on them and just kind of sat on our eggs and waited for them to hatch, and we didn't want to do that again. And this year was completely different. We were the ones that were having to come back, and again, I commend the staff and I commend the kids for the effort level, the competitive nature that they play with. We just too many crucial times, especially there at the end on offense, man, too many crucial times we'd start drives with negative plays, and you can't do that, especially in crucial times, man. You cannot do that. It's so important to stay ahead of the chains, and we just did not do that.
The fourth quarter alone, a couple 3-and-outs. KC never really could find a pass at all. Is that more credit to UT Martin, or just a struggle offensively for the receivers?
Yeah, I don't know. They were doing some things. I thought we had a pretty good handle on them. As far as a schematic standpoint, I thought we had a pretty good handle of what they were going to do. They weren't doing anything very flamboyant or anything like that. I had a couple of bad decisions, I thought, that will get corrected tomorrow. A couple of head scratchers there, whether we, threw the ball and needed to run it or something. But with what we do offensively, when you give guys the option to run it or pass it, you're going to have some of those, and that's okay. That's fine, But was just very, 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 very discouraged by the way offensively we finished the game. Really, really discouraged.
Did they do anything different in the second half defensively?
Nope.
Any adjustments or changes?
Nope. Same front, same coverages. We changed a few things. Kind of simplified. Coming into the second half, we simplified a couple of things. We tried to get into some different funky formations and things like that, and to try to eliminate some of their pressures. We thought they were going to pressure, and actually they didn't pressure us as much as I thought they would. They beat us a couple of times just on, a couple of easy pressures. No, nothing crazy, but no, they didn't change anything.
Overall, the starting running back moving forward.
Yep. Until he, until he proves he shouldn't be. But right now he's running the ball very hard. I like the way he runs behind his pads when he needs to, and he's got he's got the ability to break long runs and go. And very very encouraged by his play. Golly, the guy's a true freshman. We're gonna have him for a long time around here. So, like I said, if you're not positive watching this football team play, and you're a fan of this football program, and you don't leave the stadium in a positive manner, I don't know how you couldn't, man. You look at our roster and you see all the FRs and SOs and JRs, and there ain't a whole lot of SRs, as far as seniors on that roster. And so we're going to have a lot of people coming back, and right now we've got a lot of football to finish off this season, where we've got a lot of young kids that are learning to play college football. They're learning to play college football. They're learning that you don't always get the calls, and the ball always doesn't bounce your way and things like that. And it's just a learning process. But it's been a lot of fun doing it with them, that's for sure.